This week's episode of Formidable Opponents is brought to you by our good friends at Lazarus Coffee. Owner and friend of the show, Joe Michael Vasquez. You know him from our Best Guilty Pleasure song episode. Well, you heard his expertise on the Backstreet Boys. Well, multiply that by 1,000 and you'll get his expertise on coffee. Seriously, he's incredibly knowledgeable and he cares about his customers and has over 15 years of premium coffee knowledge. Lazarus Coffee offers a variety of special and delicious blends and flavors that taste great, and they have a commitment to purchase from coffee farms that are striving to better their community. That's right. This is just not an ordinary coffee company. Lazarus has a goal to help the Dallas, Texas Metroplex community, and you can read about their altruistic endeavors and community fundraisers on their webpage. You can follow Lazarus Coffee on Facebook at lazaruscoffee.co or on Instagram at lazarus.coffee, and they are always open at lazaruscoffee.co. We can't say enough about Lazarus, and we hope you give them a try. Delicious coffee, great people, excellent mission. Lazarus Coffee. Coffee is our vessel for loving people well. And now on to our show. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 38 of Formidable Opponents, a show that pits three people who have known each other virtually their entire lives in a series of conversations as we argue what is best in a variety of fun, engaging, and critical pop culture topics we all debate about. I'm Randall, and with me as always, Bob and Joseph, and today's topic is Worst Christmas Song. As if those of you with kids have not been subjected to enough bad Christmas programming, we gift you this episode. Every year, radio stations seem to creep in Christmas music earlier and earlier. Right after Halloween, it infiltrates our airwaves so quickly, we can't enjoy Thanksgiving, National Housewives Day, which is on November 3rd, National Nacho Day, and National Saxophone Day, both on November 6th. So please, Christmas music, fuck off and let my wife and me enjoy Careless Whisper with some extra guac. Anyway, we know holiday music elicits nostalgia. It also sparks what psychologist Victoria Williamson coins the mere exposure effect. She's not referencing exposure in, say, the way your father drunkenly sings to Elvis's Blue Christmas in his tidy whities when you haven't left home for the party yet. To quote Williamson, when you've heard songs a certain amount of times, your brain becomes oversaturated and you start to find them unpleasant. Then other stresses about money, traveling, and seeing relatives can also be exacerbated. To back up that research, according to clinical psychologist Linda Blair, no, not that Linda Blair, relentless festive tunes can be mentally draining. In short, they make you want to puke. Yes, like that Linda Blair. Who better to tap dance on our brain's neural networks than your favorite pop stars? Yes, our whoring music idols just keep them coming. DMX is one of the few musicians who gets a pass for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but everybody else, including you, Bruce Springsteen, can fuck off on Christmas. This week, we're talking about worst Christmas songs. Bob and Joseph, how are you guys doing?
What's going on?
How do you give a shout out to DMX and not Bruce Springsteen? What the fuck?
We'll talk about him soon enough.
I gotta say this real quick because I'm surprised I didn't say this last week and just throw a little throwback.
Oasis was a big band.
No,
That was Outkast.
No, I didn't. We were talking about the Christmas movies. I didn't throw out the Dash Danza Pranzovics and Comet Cupid Donna. Please, I'm sorry, I had to do it. I just watched the movie the other day, so I was like, oh fuck, I forgot to say that. Anyway,
Speaking of the other day, how long before Nickelback releases a Christmas album?
right?
Hopefully,
If they haven't already done it, it's probably hidden away, just like waiting for the right time.
So a little bit of behind the scenes. I wanted to go with best Christmas song, and you guys thought, well, it's going to be us talking about a bunch of like boring Bing Cosby, and I thought it was a good call. I thought the fact that you guys both wanted to do bad Christmas songs was a good call because I was typing up the notes, I was looking up some history. It was cracking me up. Why did you guys want to go that route?
The classics, I think, are great, and what are we really talking about if they're the best? I guess like we're just trying to appreciate them, the old school guys. I mean, it's funnier. It's funnier to talk about the shitty ones than what we're going to get into in a bit. I know it is.
I agree. I don't think I could have a great argument for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I guess if I went with DMX version of it, maybe then we'd have a debate. But I think going with the worst again would be a hell of a lot funnier, and I think it'd be more argumentative, especially with the picks that we made. Considering we're already shaking our heads no once we heard who picked it. Like, oh, that's a great song. Yeah, no.
I'm already anticipating the hate mail.
Speaking of hate, why do you guys hate Christmas music? Or why do a lot of people hate? Why do a lot of people hate Christmas music?
Well, I don't know about a lot of people, but originally, you said hate. I don't hate Christmas music. I'm just a fan. Like we just mentioned right now, I'm a fan of the classics. I don't listen to anybody. Well, we'll talk about it probably a little bit. There's probably one more recent Christmas album that I will listen to, but this new stuff, all these, because all it is just a bunch of artists doing covers of these great songs that we grew up with. This will go back to what we mentioned last episode, just growing up the way we did. We didn't, we grew up listening to old school Christmas music. I mean, at least I did. I mean, how do you feel, Bob?
Yeah, I feel wonderful. Thank you for asking. No, I agree 1,000%. We grew up listening to all the originals, the classic Christmas music. I love Christmas music. The thing is nowadays, like you listen to Sirius XM and on like their Christmas stations or whatever, it's just a bunch of, you mentioned it, like people who were once popular in the 90s now doing a Christmas album or singing a Christmas song, and it's just like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? It feels like that's like the I don't know. It feels like a desperate attempt or something like that.
And I can't really think of anything like an original Christmas song that's come out in years. I'm sure there has been, but were they actually any real good? They were probably thrown in on like Maroon 5's Christmas album, which is probably full of covers, but then they have that one original, like, let's sneak this one in and maybe they'll like it and maybe it'll be a single on their own, but it wasn't.
I did hear Taylor Swift sing a Christmas song on one of the channels and it made me hate men even more.
Which is worse, old school Christmas anthems, orchestra, traditional songs, or pop star covers?
Pop star covers.
Oh, pop star covers. There's no doubt in my mind.
We just went into it.
Or yeah, the original ones are so like relaxing. You want to listen to it, at the end of the night, or while you're cruising, looking at lights. It just, there's a lot of nostalgia there.
Especially for me, the old school, I love the Charlie Brown Christmas album. I love listening to that. Who's that? Vince, what's his name?
Vince Neil.
No,
no, that's Rudolph, your Formidable Snowman.
Poor guy.
I can't remember his name, but it's an orchestral. No, it's like a smooth jazz Christmas, and I mean, it's just really cool and I like it. And the market is oversaturated. Like Bob said, you put on Sirius or something like that, and you put it on one of these Christmas stations that pop up, because there's probably 10 that pop up towards the end of the year. And it's just all the same songs. It's all a bunch of covers and, hey, it's cool if you're into that. I mean, I guess because we're old school, or we consider ourselves old school because of how we were raised, we prefer the traditionals. And so we're not into hearing a Maroon 5 cover Jingle Bell Rock or something.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of anything Michael Bublé does, so he's all over Christmas. I'm not a fan of any of his covers. No, not a fan. Are there any good Christmas songs? Do y'all have any favorites you enjoy listening to?
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, the classics. If I can think of "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," I think it was Frank Sinatra.
He also
Walking Around the Christmas Tree.
Smoking a cigarette.
The original Rocking Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee, I believe. Chuck Berry's Run, Rudolph, Run. Jingle Bell Rock by Bobby Helms. It just, those to me, those are the good songs.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Silent Night, all those really nice, like you said, the classics, man. The classics always, they bring up that are some great childhood memories and a lot of nostalgia there. Like I mentioned.
Who sings White Christmas? Is it Bing Crosby or something? Who's that?
Yeah, it's Bing Crosby. I think so. Yeah,
Bing Crosby sang a lot of them, man.
He did. Yeah.
That's a voice.
He did. One of my favorite classics is the Little Drummer Boy.
No,
David Bowie.
No,
you don't like that?
That's terrible. Even David Bowie was like, "When are we gonna snort lines?" And find some hookers, man. It's terrible.
He got David Bowie in the early '80s. If he had seen David Bowie 10 years earlier, he would have never agreed to that shit.
Well, even David Bowie didn't want to do it. They asked him. They really wanted David Bowie to do it, but he was like, "It's because my mom's a big fan of his, so I'll do it."
It's truly a white Christmas.
Yeah, very white. too white
I had a
almost.
few that I liked, and a lot of these were non-conventional for me. The only one I had that I enjoyed is Santa Claus is Coming to Town by the Jackson 5. I like Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. I love listening to that song when we're decorating the Christmas tree. Merry Christmas, I Don't Want to Fight Tonight by the Ramones, and Mistress for Christmas by AC/DC. Have y'all heard that one?
No.
No,
Check them
no.
out, man.
There's another off the cuff song.
Yes. What do you guys think? What's the single worst lyric in a Christmas song? Do you have one?
Yes. It's
Oh, shit,
please,
go ahead.
Daddy, don't get drunk this Christmas.
What about
We'll get
you,
into
Bob?
that.
Yeah, it was like, what was it? There's a line from I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, like tickling under his beard or some shit like that. There's something weird. There's a weird line in that song, or like, hey, what the hell was that?
A little too much there. A little too much.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
old school.
Yeah, settle down, little Michael.
There's a line in Band-Aids, Do They Know It's Christmas, the Bob Geldof project, where he had all these big musicians back in the 80s from the UK. And then, so there's one line where Bono comes in, Bono from U2, and he belts out, well, tonight, thank God it's them instead of you, when he's talking about like homelessness and hunger. And it's like, why would you sing that? Why would you sing tonight, thank God it's them instead of you? I mean, it just seems
That
like
was probably one of the worst songs for a charity. I mean, God almighty. I know they had another line, like, they don't even know it's Christmas there or some shit like that, because they're
It's
taking
like-
a shot because they weren't Christian or some shit like that.
Like the only
it was
water,
terrible.
because when we were young, especially back in the 80s, there were all these, We Are the World, USA for Africa, all these relief funds for Africa. And so we didn't know what was going on over there. But they made it seem like the only water there was like people's tears, because it was just so insane. And so when they released this song for Christmas, it just seemed like, I get the sentiment, but I don't think the white savior role of these artists from the UK trying to feed this nation and trying to, the heart was there, the intent was there, but the song and the lyrics were just terrible. I felt.
I don't like those group Christmas ones.
So it was the same thing for Dancing in the Street.
Yeah. They went into it with good intentions, but in the end, it didn't work out.
What are some of your honorable mentions for worst Christmas songs, guys?
Oh, for me, like I mentioned with the worst line was it's, please don't get drunk this Christmas by John Denver. I think that is just such a horrible
Sunshine
song.
on my goddamn shoulders.
It is so horrible. It's like, okay, and I'll say this real quick. I almost went with this song, but after listening to it, I thought to myself, this is so bad. Like, not like bad, like, oh, it's a bad song. The melody's fine. Nothing about, the musicianship of it. It's just such a sad thing to talk about, like to argue that, oh, it's the worst song because of the subject matter. I just didn't think was that great. But yeah, I don't know if you've heard that song, everybody out there. John Denver's Please Daddy Don't Get Drunk This Christmas. It is just not the greatest thing in the world. But anyway, so I had that one. I got Bon Jovi's cover of Backdoor Santa, because I just, again, covers, and Bon Jovi's horrible. Duck the Halls. Have you heard this? Duck the Halls. Santa looked a lot like Daddy. It's the what's it called? The Duck Dynasty people.
No, I've not heard that.
So
one.
horrible. And Happy Christmas, War's Over. Look, I don't like this song. I don't. I'm sorry. It's not that great of a song. They play it too much every year. It just doesn't do it for me. It has a kind of a New Year's vibe to it. So I've always kind of thought like it's two songs in one. I got one that I'll mention, but I'm going to maybe let Bob talk about this one. And if he doesn't talk about it, I'll bring it up. So what do you got, Bob?
I have Twisted Sister. Oh, come all you faithful. That was pretty fucking terrible.
How did they spell that? How do they spell that title?
You don't want to know. It was like played to the beat of. It was played to the beat of. We're not going to
burn in hell.
Yeah, it was pretty different. Cyndi Lauper did the Christmas conga, which was it was kind of terrible. One, I'll probably get shit on a little bit. Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Not my cup of tea. Now, maybe when I was like 7 in elementary, but now it's just like, it's kind of embarrassing. One I wanted to mention, which was, it's kind of funny and kind of like, geez, John Legend. I heard John Legend did a cover of Baby It's Cold Outside, but this was like the politically correct version. I mean, if you know the original, it's kind of like, Jesus Christ, a little bit out there, but
calls her an Uber? Or?
Yeah, he was like, she's like, but maybe it's cold. Like, well, maybe you should go home. And he's like saying shit like, maybe I'll call you a ride. Maybe you should go home. He's saying like shit like that. And at the very end, he's like, but your lips look so delicious. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is it, bro? Like, he's just trying to get rid of you, lady. He's trying to get rid of you. So he can go party with his boys. And last but not least, Silver and Gold. I never liked that song.
The original one?
The original one, I hate
the old school one.
It's so
Who sang that song?
Boring. Who cares?
Is that the one from the Rudolph special? Is it? I don't know. Real quick before we move on to Randy's, I don't remember. I had because you showed it to me the other day, dude, and it was horrible.
Yeah. I forgot to mention it. New Kids on the Block.
There you go.
Yeah. That's a bad one.
Horrible.
Funky Christmas.
Yeah, have a funky Christmas.
That one's bad too.
I got a few of them. Okay, so I got a story behind most of these. The first one I selected was Feliz Navidad, only because of a personal experience. Now, Feliz Navidad was written and sung by Jose Feliciano. If you don't know him, he was a blind guitarist, and he didn't get like a lot of pub that like Stevie Wonder got. He kind of falls in line with like the Ronnie Millsap and the band leader from Roadhouse, kind of those guys who were very talented, had an impairment, but didn't get the push Stevie Wonder got. But then again, Stevie Wonder had a lot of classics. But the reason I don't like this song, two reasons. It's very repetitive. He has 4 lines in the fucking song. And I want to share a memory with you guys. I think I was in the 2nd or 3rd grade. Now, back in the 80s, we had we're from a border town, for those of you listening. So we had a lot of Spanish-speaking students. And what they used to do is they didn't integrate them into the main classrooms. Once again, this is the 80s, the immersion wasn't really going on back then. So these students who were either first or second generation students who only spoke Spanish would be in their own classrooms. And, they were cool. We'd play football and soccer and everything with them, but they were still learning English. So we were doing a Christmas program and we were up after them, and they're about to go on, and we see all these kids walking to like the choir planks or whatever. And they're all dressed like in ties and guayaberas, like they're going out on a date or whatever. And we didn't know what was going on. And this one guy comes out on stage on a trumpet and starts playing Feliz Navidad, and he just walks off. And then the curtain opens up and these Spanish kids go fucking wild. They're singing Feliz Navidad and they're like dancing, and people are dancing in the aisles, and uncles they have their air horns and shit. There was a keg in the audience.
The fuck? It was like a soccer game?
They were going fucking ape shit. And then we were there. We were like, how are we going to follow this shit up? We had to sing I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus after that. How are we going to follow this shit up? I mean, they had a party up there singing Feliz Navidad, and they were so awesome. We went up there and sang I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, and we just had like a pity clap from the audience. It was very embarrassing. So that's why I put Feliz Navidad as a song I can't listen to, because I remember that embarrassing moment. Backdoor Santa by Bon Jovi, as you mentioned. Do They Know It's Christmas? Band-Aid, Bob Geldof. Just a terrible song. They had all these up-and-coming artists, Duran Duran, Bananarama, Boy George, Bono from U2, Sting from The Police, and it just didn't hit. It should have been a better song. Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Bruce Springsteen. I'm going to tell you why. Bruce Springsteen sings this cover in the same tone, cadence, and fervor as he sings Born in the USA. I want Santa Claus to come to town, not back a broken man from Vietnam. So that's just the feeling I get. Christmas War is Over, as Joseph mentioned, but just the Yoko Ono part. This is how we know John Lennon loved her. You broke up my band and you screwed up a classic song, but we're going to get through this together. This is the worst thing that happened to John Lennon in December. Well, second worst thing, right?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. God, Talk about hate mail. Talk about hate mail.
Have y'all heard?
Oh my God!
Have y'all heard "White Christmas" by Iggy Pop? That's an. I think he's trying to be Leonard Cohen, but he's like.
I heard about it, but I didn't give it a chance because I was like, this just doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, the only white in Iggy Pop's Christmas is probably Crack Rock, because it was just not a good song. And then
you're just hitting on all cylinders, aren't you?
Lastly, I had Santa Baby by anyone but Madonna in particular. You had a run of all these like sort of horny Christmas songs. I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, Baby It's Cold Outside, Santa Baby. I don't know. I mean, the feeling of sexualness in Christmas, I don't think that should be a component in a Christmas.
That's the gift that keeps on giving, Rand. The fire's lit, it's cold outside, kids are asleep.
So those are my selections. And before we move on with our picks, A smooth transition here. We're going to talk a little bit about stamps.com, our sponsor and our friends over at stamps.com. If you're looking for ways to skip the trip to the post office and dodge all the hectic holiday shopping traffic, why not save time and money with stamps.com? Stamps.com lets you compare rates, print labels, and access exclusive discounts on UPS and USPS services all year long, not just Christmas. It just makes sense, especially if your business sends more mail and packages during the holidays. So whether you're selling online or running an office or a side hustle, Stamps.com can save you so much time, money, and stresses during the holidays. I shared with our listeners last week that I was at the post office last year, and it was a mess. Never going to do it again. Thank God for Stamps.com. Access all the post office and UPS shipping services you need without taking the trip. And get discounts you can't find anywhere else, like up to 40% off USPS rates and 76% off UPS. Going to the post office instead of using Stamps.com is kind of like taking the stairs with Bruce Springsteen's version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town instead of the elevator where you could hear the Jackson 5's version, right? Just going up a couple of floors, sure, take the stairs. Listen to that Bruce Springsteen cover. Walking up 30 flights a day, you could use a break. You could use a great Christmas song like Jackson 5's cover of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. If you spend more than a few minutes a week dealing with mail and shipping, Stamps.com, it's a lifesaver. You could save so much time and money, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. So save time and money this holiday season with Stamps.com. Sign up with the promo code POD, that's P-O-D, for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, and enter that code POD, which is POD. So now we're going to our selection.
Speaking of no long-term commitments after that John Lennon comment, I'm sure we're going to lose it.
Well, shit, we're going to insult one Beatle to another. So,
jeez, here we go.
So my selection, I'm up first for worst Christmas song. I want to shout out my friend Arlen Garza because he loves this song. If you're listening, Arlen, this one's for you. Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. Obviously, Paul McCartney's a musical legend, much like John Lennon was. I think this song started off with, let's see what sound every button on our fucking Casio keyboard sounds like, and let's just put it out there. In the video, they are playing their typical complement of instruments, but all you hear is the dated synth from the Casio keyboard and sleigh bells. Paul McCartney also sucked after the Beatles. I wasn't a fan after the Beatles. Yeah, Wings were good. Yeah, you know, they had a decade-long run. They were good for about 6 of those years. A few good songs with Wings, but he was repetitive after that, lazy, and he coasted on that success. I think he peaked with Hey Jude, but that's just me. So here comes more hate mail. Somebody wrote a tweet that the lyrics to this song sounds like a group of people having a satanic seance in their basement. The moon is right. The spirit's up. We're here tonight, and that's enough. Then somebody walks in on them and they try to cover their asses with simply having a wonderful Christmas time as their follow-up lyric. This does not sound like a Christmas song. This song would have never been greenlit had it not been by Paul McCartney. He had enough clout, of course, to get this through. We tend to think music icons deliver a scold all the time, but this was a case of nobody having the balls to tell Paul McCartney no. I mean, he was at his apex, right? Paul McCartney had a long career that spanned decades where he was a top seller and a music legend. Love it or hate it, including royalties from cover version, it's estimated that in 2010, Paul McCartney makes $400,000 a year from this song, which puts the earnings, at over 19 million by today's standards, maybe even more. Who knows? He's made nearly $20 million by pressing the beat sound effect on a freaking synthesizer and singing the same lines over and over. Yes, it's cloying, but it's a Christmas perennial. And it's less about the holiday. And although subtle, it's more about Paul McCartney's new direction as a musician. I believe he disbanded Wings shortly after this album. And, you know, there was a decade of inconsistencies. People were in and out of the group. It was him and his wife, and everybody else were sort of interchangeable. The 80s and synth were about to take flight, no pun intended, because of Wings. And McCartney was listening to bands like Kraftwerk and Talking Heads, and he wanted to implement. I put on a Christmas song. They're going to have to play it every year. This is my experiment. This is a wise business move, just a shitty song. He experimented with a Christmas song, And it being a Christmas song, we are subjected to one of his transitional phases year after year. Remember, this was Paul McCartney trying to rebound, find himself, find that 80s sound. And now we got his practice song, right? We got his experiment song. And now we have to live with it year after year, thinking that is a sample of what Paul McCartney, where he was at musically at that time, which he wasn't. I mean, I'm not a big Paul McCartney fan after the Beatles, but say what you will. And lastly, I don't think Paul thought this song would have been playing 40 years after he released it as an experimental track. He lucked out. It was unintentional. And since he's a Beatle, Paul McCartney, whatever he does is great, but he's a songwriter who was once brilliant for nearly 2 decades. Hats off to him. One of the best songwriters to ever live, one of the best musicians to ever live. But I think there was a time starting in the 80s where Paul McCartney just dropped off and he was just coasting on his reputation. And I think this song was one of the first that hits that point. What do you guys think?
Well, first off, bitch, it's Sir Paul McCartney. Let me just get that fucking out right. It's Sir Paul McCartney, okay?
All right, Lord Robert.
I know that you mentioned that it's a repetitive song, but all Christmas songs are repetitive. Jingle Bells, how many times do they fucking say Jingle Bells in the song? Santa Claus is coming to town. Little Michael sings that like 8 different times during that song. So all Christmas songs are repetitive. I thought it was just a fun, loving song. You know, you talked about the music video. Everybody's drinking and having a good time, and it's like a bar song. They try to make a bar song, a Christmas bar song, so to speak. I thought it wasn't. I don't think that it's one of his worst songs. And I know you said I know you said, oh, well, he had kind of a big drop off, and then you're like, he had Wings, which were good for 10 years, but only 7 of them were really good. So they didn't have quite the big drop. I would say somebody like Ringo Starr probably had a bigger drop off after the Beatles closed up shop. But anyways, I really do. I don't think it's that bad of a song. It's a catchy tune. Some people may find it like, it's not that great, but I've never really met anybody other than you that's like, oh, this is fucking terrible. I hate that with my wife too. I don't like this song. It's fucking terrible. Like I don't get that from this song. I don't get like there's no annoying factor. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not that great of a song, but there's no annoying factor to it. At least in my point of view, it's just Paul McCartney doing like this drink with your buddies, have a good time on Christmas, that type of song. So that's my take on it. It's not that bad. It's not really isn't that bad. When you came up with this one, and I saw it on a few lists, I was like, I just don't see that. I don't see that.
It's not a good song, but I don't think it's a terrible song. And it's actually funny that you up until you said in the beginning about how I think the lyrics sound like a satanic ritual until they got caught. I had never actually thought about that. And I'll give you that. Like that first opening line, I was like, yeah, I can see that. The lyrics just simple and yes, they're repetitive, like Bob said, but I'm not gonna really criticize that too much, and I also can't really use that as a huge argument because a lot of great Christmas songs that we mentioned are repetitive and simple, and I think that's a good formula. And this, I didn't pay. I seen the video, I seen it, and but I'm not, the video to me, the videos didn't come into play with these songs. It was to me, it was straight up just listening to it. But I did see the video and it does look like a great time. Like Bob mentioned, everybody's just, having a good time, but you can read the lyrics and see that it does have its Christmas. It's not too out there, hey, the moon is right. It kind of sounds weird. The spirit's up, but we're here tonight.
And talking about spirits because they're drinking at a bar, Joseph.
Exactly. I know that. I mean, but I see both sides. The party's on. It sounds like a great party. I would never really want to have it played blasting at a party, at a Christmas party, but it does sound like, hey, when they wrote it, they're like, hey, I just have a good time. I fuck it. Was it probably, an experiment thing? And did he half-ass it? Maybe, but to his credit, he like you said, he got away with that. He could. I don't think it's too horrible. I don't, like I said, but I don't think it's very good. It does stick to, the message of Christmas. And I think that's really all it needs. It's got the sleigh bells, hey, a lot of, an old Casio, like you mentioned, keyboard.
It sounds nothing like Christmas. Yeah.
What's funny is Paul,
sleigh bells, sir.
Paul McCartney actually played each individual instrument and, recorded them all separately before adding them together.
All the instruments were on the fucking Casio.
And the sleigh bells.
So I mean, it's not good, but it's definitely not as bad. And I can hear it once or twice. I can hear it once and be like, rock my head back and forth and smile about it. If I hear it maybe 5 times in a row, then I'll definitely get a little bit angry.
If Ringo Starr sang this song, it would be terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
It'd be a lot worse.
That's exactly. Did the Beatles? did the Beatles have any Christmas songs? I don't remember. I don't know if you guys could.
I don't believe they did. If they did anything, it was probably like maybe at a live setting where they just like maybe. I don't recall them releasing any Christmas albums.
No, they had an eclectic mix of great music though, but I don't recall any Christmas songs either.
Neither do I.
Yeah. Have you seen the Paul McCartney documentary with Rick Rubin on Hulu, Joseph? It's really
Disney
really,
Plus, I think.
Is it Get Back the Beatles?
Yeah, no, not the one that just came out on Disney Plus. It was the one that came out.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the one that
you're
talking about.
That one was fucking awesome, man. Paul McCartney was really extremely impressive in those, and talking how they created music and certain songs and certain beats and stuff like that. It's really, really impressive.
Paul McCartney, and I mentioned this he's one of the greatest songwriters that ever lived. I mean, there's a clip on that Get Back where he's writing Get Back, the song. He's just like on a guitar and he's humming it and he's playing the song. And as time goes on, he's humming, then he's putting in lyrics and humming. I mean, the guy was a musical genius. I'm not disputing that. I just think that after the Beatles, he was working with two other very talented musicians, and it was just, I don't know, downhill after that. But he's a very talented guy. I just think this song I don't think it was an effort song. You know what I mean? I just think that he said, hey, I'm going to write this little ditty. I'm going to experiment a little bit. And it just took off. And I think Paul McCartney's name being attached to it helped.
So you think what was worse, this or Dancing in the Street by Mick Jagger and David Bowie?
Oh gosh, well that's a cover. So I would say that's
We Are the World with everybody else.
We Are the World is pretty bad,
By the way, have you ever seen In Living Color and they do the We Are the World, and there's I forgot what the Asian comedian is that's on there. He plays the Yoko Ono. Fucking hilarious, dude. Hilarious. I'm gonna have to watch that after this.
Have y'all seen? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Have y'all seen the We Are the World? There's some clips that have come up on YouTube and on the internet where Michael Jackson is giving Huey Lewis the death stare because Huey Lewis is trying to sing his part and Michael Jackson is like, who the fuck invited this guy? Because Huey Lewis is not able to hit the notes that like him and Stephen Perry and Lionel Richie.
Is this the same one where like Bob Dylan's like staring into the wind? Where is that the same one?
I already told you, Bob Dylan. We had this discussion.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't even know what year it is, what world he's living
he's just kind of like standing there in the middle, like, where am I? Those old school things.
I think he says like 3 words, but he has his own lyric, right, Bob Dylan?
I don't know. He doesn't even know.
He does. For you and me. He does it.
So we shit on Paul McCartney, John Lennon, Bob Dylan. Fuck, get a ton of hate mail at the end of this episode.
Nobody's gonna listen to our best
sixes. Y'all leave Tom Petty the fuck alone.
Oh shit!
He has a Christmas song too. Joseph, go ahead. What is your selection?
All right, moving on. My selection was "Last Christmas" by Wham, with an exclamation point. So Wham. So this song was released back in 1984, December 3rd of 1984 to be specific. So it's officially 37 years old already. This song is not only bad, it's pretty fucking stupid, and it's been covered by numerous artists. Apparently, if you're gonna do some kind of Christmas album, you have to include this one. Those aren't my rules. It's just what I've noticed and the way it seems to go. Thank God Scott Weiland did not record it, but the lyrics are heavily repetitious. The opening chorus is sang twice in the beginning, and I counted 6 times total, I believe. When this song is on the radio or playing for the 50th time at Kohl's or JCPenney's or whatever, any department store that you're in, sorry for you holiday workers, I really am. You have to hear this song 50 times. You always hear that one chorus, that line, Last Christmas. And it's because of this. I used to think that this song was just that. I thought there was no other lyrics to the song. I thought the song was just a repetitive course of that part. And It turns out there's more lyrics, and I'm going to go into that. The concept is understandable. I just think the way that they put it together is stupid and a bit confusing. You gave someone your heart last Christmas, okay, and the next day they gave it away. What the fuck does that mean? What does it even mean?
He loves her, Joseph.
Yes, this is a one-year romance.
You wait. What does it mean? Do you mean that you put yourself on the line and you got rejected? And if that's so, then just say that. Just say, you know what? Hey, I put it on the line and it didn't work out, and that's it. To say that, how does one give a heart away? Were you sold? Does your love belong to someone else now? Seriously, what the fuck does it mean? I don't understand it. The rest of the lyrics tell this crazy stalker story, though. Is this how Christmas sleigh was dreamed up? I mean, geez, crazy. I kept my distance, but you still catch my eye. Do you recognize me? You probably don't, because it's been a year. It's been a year, motherfucker. Move on. Like, you're still following this person? Like, you weird psycho. If you go up to a girl on this day and say some shit like that to a girl or a guy or whatever, you're going to come off as a creep, and restraining orders in your future. And it gets worse. Crowded room with friends. I'm hiding from you. What the fuck is that? Did you go follow this person to a party and like hide in the coat closet looking at them? That's so fucking weird. This dude is stalking this girl or guy, since it's George Michael. I'm actually scared for the person that this song is about. No, I mean, hey, we learned that, hey, so who knows who the song was written about? I'm actually scared for the person that this song is about. The ending is supposed to like give this person the writer, the narrator, this sense of like, oh, I'm moving on and I'm finding a real love, and talking about how you'll never fool me again. That sounds like something serial killers say to their victims after they've killed them, like, you'll never break my heart again, fucker. Yeah, sliced, some shit like that. This is a horrible song. It's horrible. It's cookie cutter, and it's got an evil story hidden in a Christmas song. This is supposed to be a joyful time. I don't want to hear about stalkers. I don't ever want to hear this song again. It's so bad. I don't like it. Personally, I don't like it. I'll openly admit that, because I think it's stupid. But once I delved into this, I found the hidden story within, and bro, you're psycho. Move on. Go ahead.
This guy doesn't like George Michael. Boo this guy.
Yes, boo him. This is 0 for 2 for the Brits. The tone of this song reminds me of, y'all ever go to like a Mexican restaurant and it's like 10:30?
No way.
Oh, like every day, bro. I mean,
wait a minute, let me finish. And you're like going to a decent Mexican. It's not well lit. It's probably maybe a 6 out of 10 in terms of like Mexican. But you're there for a quick bite to eat, and there's this guy with a Casio keyboard, and he's playing like the same sort of tune, but he's singing different songs over it. Like, that's what Last Christmas sounds like. That dun 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 dun. It's very basic. This song has nothing to do with Christmas. First of all, that doesn't mean it's a bad Christmas song. The video looks like a Mentos commercial and the start of a horror movie. They're all at a ski slope and having a great time. It's a heartbreak song, and watching George Michael's face half covered by the furry hood of his parka, it just makes you feel bad for him, right? If you want to watch effective running in the snow, watch Rocky IV. Don't watch this video. You're going to be highly disappointed. It's both catchy and annoying. So I'll give you that. Is it a great song? No, but is it a catchy song? I catch myself listening to it and letting it play just because it's there. It's kind of like, ambient noise. It's background music. You know it for so long. It's played to death in December. So it doesn't bother me, I think, quite the way it bothers you. I do have to say that just because you have Christmas in the title, it defaults to submission as a Christmas song. But this song isn't really about Christmas, as was my initial point. It just so happens he had a breakup on Christmas, right? I think it strikes a chord with holiday time breakups. The year is ending, so people are thinking about their future. Call this song Last Winter, I Gave You My Heart. Keep all the same lyrics, and it totally changes everything.
Why are you trying to take Christmas out of the go on? You're gonna say no, happy holidays now? What the fuck?
No, keeping Christ in Christmas. All right. The lyrics are incomplete to me. Okay, what did she do? Who did she do it with? What did he do? What happened? I have so many questions. Who's the victim? What horrible person dumps you on Christmas Day and doesn't write it off until early January to avoid associating Christmas break with heartbreak? I mean, I just think that's a horrible thing to do. So he is very right to be angry and sad at that moment. It's too long. It's a long song. I think it's 4 minutes and 50 seconds or something like that. It's too mopey for a Christmas song, and it just doesn't fit the requisition. Now, Jimmy Eat World does a really good cover of this this song. I don't know if you heard that one, Joseph, but Jimmy Eat World. No, listen to it. Take away the Casio.
Just take some time. Just take some time. Is that what you're gonna say?
Take away the Casio keyboard, and that helps. And at least for me, it helps me uncover that I think this is a good song. The Jimmy Eat World cover, I think, is very well done.
No, I was gonna say I heard like 5 covers of this, and all by like crazy new Taylor Swift, what's her name,
Ariana
Grande.
Yeah,
I mean, what's your name, Trainer. This song is covered by so many people, and it's all the same thing pretty much. I will give a little credit to Taylor Swift for throwing in the guitar, kind of making it a little bit getting out of that Casio vibe, like you said.
Taylor Swift singing a breakup song? No way.
She probably blamed that shit on George Michael. They never met, right?
So I give that. Go ahead.
So lastly, I'm just going to say the arrangement and the sentiment is off. I think I agree. It shouldn't be Christmassy, but it's not. It just doesn't feel like Christmas without this song. I think this song is probably one of the top 5 played, not top 5 Christmas songs, but I think 5 most played Christmas songs during Christmas. You can't escape it. It's just there all the time. And I don't think it really bothers me. What about you, Bob?
It's the ultimate breakup song on Christmas. You know, not every song on Christmas has to be, you know, goodwill and lighthearted. And he wrote a breakup song for Christmas. I like how he said it. I think he nailed it. It's not really a Christmas song, just rather than basically a song or a story that takes place during Christmas. Maybe she just didn't want to buy him a Christmas gift. Maybe that's why she gave him back his heart. I don't think it's annoying. I think it's George Michael. It's a George Michael song. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's annoying. I think it's just a typical George Michael song. It can be a little repetitive, can go on a little bit long. I get it how you don't like it. And yeah, he does seem like kind of like a stalker. You're like, get over it, bro, walk away. But, you know, he got his heart broken, and, you know, it's hard, especially now since it happened on Christmas. He associates Christmas with this girl that he was in love with. So it's kind of hard to let go, Joseph. It's kind of hard to let go. So I thought,
get the right present, you'll let it go. You forget all about it.
Yeah, this definitely should have been the video should have definitely been named White Christmas, because it's just a bunch of white people at the fucking ski slopes. It looked like a damn soap opera. I don't think this song is that bad. Going along with it, I did laugh plenty when he said the Mentos commercial. I thought that was really funny. Definitely the stalker vibe, you get it, Joseph, but it's not like, if it comes out on the radio, you can listen to it once and not have to immediately change the channel. I figured if it's the worst Christmas song of all time, like as soon as it comes on, you're like, fuck this song, and you have to change it. Or if it comes on in a store, you have to run out because it's so annoying. And I don't really get that vibe from the song. It might not be the greatest, obviously, but, you know, I don't get that vibe where like, oh no, I have to change the channel immediately and leave the store because this song is just so fucking bad.
There's such a disassociation with Christmas in this. I understand Wonderful Christmas Time. It's about a gathering, and some of the other songs we mentioned, there's some semblance of Christmas spirit, Santa Claus, gifts, holiday festivities. This song has murder. There's nothing. There is nothing in this song other than the
murder.
Other than saying Last Christmas, there's nothing in this song that indicates it should be a holiday song. You know, I don't think there's sleigh bells or bells in this song. I think it's just the Casio keyboard and George Michael being.
What do you have against the Casio keyboard? You mentioned it twice already. What did the Casio keyboard ever do? Is this the Christmas gift you never got? That you
I was about to say that. He hates it.
I think it has to be. I never
got my Casio.
I'm gonna shit on the Casio.
Definitely gonna write a better song than Wonderful Christmas Time.
I could have been a star. Could have been
somebody. I had the Casio.
To be fair, I will say before we move on that I did mention that I don't like this song. I feel like what I said, you know, in going into the lyrics, it's just like get over it, you know, dude or girl, whoever's singing the song, regardless of who you're singing it to. But I will say, to be fair, I might hate this song because I used to work at my old job. I don't need to say it, as a home health agency. I'll just leave it at that.
Somebody broke up with you on Christmas?
No. Okay, I used to have to sit in a cubicle type situation. So I had my cubicle and across from me, maybe 2 cubicles down, there was a guy there who
was his name Andrew Ridgely?
No. who had this song as his ringtone. And I guess this dude was a popular guy, like, you know, whatever. And I swear I heard this song like at least his ringtone, his phone ring like 3 times every hour. Every time his phone rang, last Christmas. I was like, so I at some point I lost my mind probably, and that's probably why I hate this song so much, because maybe I did hear it so many times. But again, I believe my story has some merit. This guy's kind of crazy, so I'll just say that. But speaking of songs that just get played to death, Bob, how about you?
Oh
Yes.
shit! Oh shit!
Wonderful song.
I went with the most overplayed, overhyped, and quite possibly the most annoying Christmas song of all time. Yes, I'm talking about Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You." It's played to the point of exhaustion. Fucking drives me mad. And shopping malls, Targets, drugstores, restaurants, elevators, fucking elementary school. I'm just tired of hearing this. You can't go anywhere without hearing this song. As soon as Thanksgiving's over, this fucking thing is played every single place. You can't go in public without hearing this goddamn song. It drives me nuts, man. And it doesn't help that, Mariah Carey emerges out of nowhere every Christmas to do this terrible lip sync rendition of this song on TV, while Ryan Seacrest, fake smiles his way through the whole performance and he pretends to like it and be amazed. She's so over the top, both in her live performance of this song and in the song itself, with all the high notes and runs and everything. It's supposed to be a Christmas song. It's supposed to be fun. And it just gets to the point of like, okay, you're showing off. All right. It's a little too much. Okay. All right. That's over there. Okay. Shut the fuck up. I got to change the channel. It's gotten to that point with me. The lyrics are just, they're bullshit, man. They're bullshit. All she wants for Christmas is you, bro. Really? You? She wants your money, man. She wants a fucking diamond necklace. Have you seen the way Mariah Carey dresses? Any person that says they don't need anything for Christmas is either a psycho or someone that's going to leave you for that old dude driving the Cadillac down the street. Any man that shows up empty-handed at Christmas will find himself alone watching A Christmas Story. And Mariah Carey is no different at all. Have you seen the way she dresses? Have you seen the way she acts? Have you seen the way she sings? All dramatic. She doesn't just want you, bro. She wants you to, hey, dish out some money, buy her something pretty, buy her something nice. The only credit I'll ever give to this fucking song is that it's created a bunch of like spoofs and funny memes based on this. One of the funniest ones, and I'll try to post this on our Instagram, is it's a bunch of like goth kids like under an underpass, and they're raving, and this is playing in the background. Like they do this as they play this music over their dancing. It's fucking hilarious. But that's the only kind of credit I'll give it. I can't stand this song. It's just like you said, the most overplayed song. This is the type of song that if I'm midway through my meal at a restaurant and this shit comes on, I will step outside so I don't have to hear it. If it comes on the radio, I will change the channel. Okay, if it's on an elevator, I'll start hitting the buttons so I can get the fuck off as quickly as possible. I just can't stand this song. It's like, I think I'd mentioned this a long time. I got shit on for this for saying Whitney Houston singing in front of a mirror. But you know, Mariah Carey was fucking singing this song to herself in front of a mirror. She's so like into herself that much. I just can't stand it. There's nothing about, I don't know. It doesn't, I mean, it's the worst Christmas song of all time. What do y'all think about it?
First of all, it's the best fucking song, bitch. You know, it's the best fucking Christmas song.
You should have seen him. He wanted to snap his fingers.
He struck a chord. We struck a chord.
Hit a nerve. She was never in the Beatles, Ren. She was never in the Beatles.
He's coming out swinging.
I'm mad at this one. That's why I told you to go first, Joe, so I need to calm down. For the first time on this show, I'm pissed off. The team behind this song, including Mariah Carey, I think are geniuses. Co-written and co-produced by Carey and Walter Afanasieff, I believe that's the way you pronounce it. Take away the For Christmas part of this song, release it in April. I'll get it. I get that you could grow tired of it if it was a song that wasn't released for Christmas, but the song only appears for 7 weeks a year during a time we want to listen to this song. It's not my favorite Christmas song, but it's one of the best. And it is one of the all-time greatest Christmas songs, I believe, but it's on the Mount Rushmore, and it's the only modern Christmas song on that Mount Rushmore. And this is a song that came out in 1994. It's fun. It's upbeat. It's unstoppable. Mariah Carey owns December. I mean, you can't deny that. I first heard this song and I thought it was a remake from like a 50s or 60s classic, because it sounds timeless. It's majestic. It pays homage to Motown, up-tempo orchestral beats, doo-wop, gospel. She's singing the shit out of it. Remember, this is 1994 Mariah. Every bullet point is hit. Remember, this is a young and up-and-coming Mariah. She was struggling in a loveless marriage to Tommy Mottola, the CEO of Sony. Mottola wasn't giving Mariah Carey the avenue she deserved. No collaborations, no pop star breakthrough. This song not only underlines... Just diamond rings, right? This song not only underlines the Christmas holiday, it broke Mariah free. It's been covered by the likes of Kelly Clarkson, Dolly Parton, Michael Bublé, Miley Cyrus, Ariana Grande, Shania Twain. The backing vocals are incredible. It was done on Love Actually, and that was a very fun scene. You can dance to it. It's uplifting. It's cathartic. You can open presents to it. It's a fun, family-friendly song. It's a holiday standard. I don't get how I think you hate this song because it's overplayed in Christmas, but that's when we want to listen to it, in Christmas. Those 8 weeks, we want to listen to this song. If it was like January, February, March, we would get so sick and tired of this song, but it comes in at the right time. And just like The Undertaker, that meme, Mariah Carey wakes up in November and just dominates. But I don't know. That's my take. I know you got a big response, Bob.
I'd rather dance in the streets with Mick Jagger than fucking dance to All I Want for Christmas Is You. Holy crap. Go ahead, Joseph.
Great song.
I'll never open my presents to this song. I'll say that. Okay, yeah, it's you mentioned that it's overplayed for what, like 7 weeks? Is that what you said? 7 weeks?
A million times in 7 weeks. Makes your ears bleed.
Exactly. I was about to say that may be 7 weeks, but it's at least a million times throughout that 7 weeks.
7 weeks will never get back.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't stand this song. I understand. I give it props for the lyrics actually like being about Christmas. I know that was kind of we went back and forth with our previous, with your selection and mine selection, Randy, about how maybe the lyrics aren't what we see, or if like it was just a little bit different. This one probably has the most Christmas. It says Christmas in it about 1,000 times. Christmas, 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 Christmas. And yes, Mariah Carey probably makes this shit. I mean, she does, not probably. She does make a shitload of money from this. Yeah. We know this.
Tons.
But I don't. Does that mean it's the great, or like that it's? Is it okay? You're calling it the greatest.
Well, I'll say second, but Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC is my favorite. I'll say this one's second best.
Okay, well,
it's on the Mount Rushmore.
It's on the Mount Rushmore. Christmas song.
Jesus Christ! There's no fucking way.
Everybody's gonna agree with me. This is the soundbite I'm gonna cut.
Frank Sinatra just turned over in his grave. So did Bing Crosby.
I give it props for being actually about Christmas, but yeah, I can agree with Bob too that the subject matter is a little, yeah, Mariah. I mean, maybe when she was struggling, I know it's true. It is true.
She was struggling, married to the fucking CEO of Sony. She wasn't struggling, bro.
He kept her hostage, man. He treated her like a prisoner.
Well,
I mean, and then she married a billionaire right now too, and then like divorced him too. She's not struggling. She's doing.
It's hard for me to imagine a point where people weren't taking Mariah Carey seriously, because she does have a great voice. I will say that it's up there. So to hear anybody say like, or to say or to read that she wasn't being taken seriously. Why? Because she's pretty, and you're just thinking like, oh, you're just a pretty face. No, she actually can sing. So I don't know, that part's a little hard for me to comprehend, but I know, hey, when you're starting, and hey, in the music business, whatever. Santa Claus won't make me happy with a toy on Christmas Day. Are you sure? Like, are you single? If you're single and
hey, where are we going with this?
You're the one that hey, you love this song. You
can open Christmas. You can hang out with your kids and listen to her.
I'm gonna go back to hearing it so much. Has kind of made me numb to this, and yes, to the point where is it a valid argument? I don't know, but for me it is. I can't hear this song. I don't want to hear this song, and kind of like what Bob said, I will put on headphones. I will find whatever I have to find. I will get up to go fake to go to the restroom. I will oh fuck, my phone's ringing, excuse me. I will find a way to get out of the building so that I do not have to hear this song. I don't want to go out anywhere during this month if I were to go anywhere, because the chances are that you might hear the song more than once. I do love that there was a bar in Texas that I don't know if I sent it to you. There was a bar in Texas that posted a sign that said, Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas" will be skipped if played before December 1st. After December 1st, it will be played 3 times only each night. After that, and I was like,
they took it off. Yeah, that control
more
of
than
their
enough.
iTunes jukebox or whatever.
I
Now,
was like,
you know, Randy mentions all
right
the
there.
shitty. Randy mentions all the shitty piano Casio shit. There's a shitty Casio piano in this goddamn song too. But he magically leave this part out.
I don't know if the Casio's on this one.
Oh, now he doesn't know. You know.
Let me ask you a question. Since you clearly did some research on this, I was trying to get some a little bit more back history and definitely read the lyrics. Every time I searched the song, it said Mariah Carey and Justin Bieber. Did they release a one together?
I think they did
recently.
Yeah, cover together. Yeah,
and it just kept coming out. Like I would go to Google and I'd type in like "All I Want for Christmas Is You," Mariah Carey, and it would pop up the video of her and Justin Bieber. I was like, no, I don't want it. I want to try to.
I can think of as Kate McKinnon dressed like Justin Bieber in the Christmas things in SNL.
I've only heard Kelly Clarkson's and I think Michael Bublé's cover, Miley Cyrus's cover. I've not heard Justin Bieber sing, and nor will I want to hear him sing the song. So
the thing with Bublé,
who I hate, I don't like Michael Bublé at all.
Really, I think his first album was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
I agree with what Bob says, but at some point, I mean, we're not living in those days anymore. So the crooning thing, like, doesn't it get old?
I mean, I think being like his like sound is perfect for Christmas because that's like. Kind of like what Sinatra and
to me, you know what, you're right. It kind of fits that.
Tony
I mean, it kind of fits that mold. He doesn't use a Casio. He doesn't use a Casio. I just want
Seth MacFarlane. Got to give him props.
Seth MacFarlane. He's a great crooner.
You gotta give. Yeah, I like Scott Weiland's Christmas.
Yeah, that is a great album. Have you heard that?
No. What are some tracks?
Don't you dare talk shit about that.
No. I probably.
I'll be home for Christmas. Yes, dude. He sings like all the.
I mean, he's got a great voice though.
He sings all the classic songs and he sings them like in a classic way.
Okay.
He doesn't
it's actually pretty fucking good. Not what you would think out of it, but it's really good.
And I know we can be biased about that because we're such big fans, but I think it really is a good Christmas album because it's got that old school vibe that I like.
I'll check it out. I do like Scott Weiland singing, like actual singing, not just rock star singing. Exactly. You know?
Yeah.
So I'll take a listen to that one. Guys, are we tapped out when it comes to original Christmas songs becoming hits? I'm sorry, because I can't think of. I mean, All I Want for Christmas was 1994. It's been around for almost 30 years now. Is there anything you can think of after that's been a big Christmas hit? I can't think of any. I'm sure there are tons, but covers.
I'm sure there's mostly covers. I can't really think of any like. That really, really like that was a brand new type of song that was just amazing for Christmas.
But to be fair, like, I mean, I stick to listening to what I know and what I like, which would be the classic one. So I haven't given myself the time or the opportunity to actually listen to or find something that's new. I don't think that I would. I mean, it's not like, oh, dear God, maybe we never hear a Metallica Christmas album. But,
Cannibal Corpse didn't release a Christmas album?
No, they didn't. So, but I haven't really given myself the opportunity or time to try to find something new because I like what I'm set in my ways. I like the classics I'm
surprised
but they're mostly covers.
Sure they did. I'm sure they did. I just don't know. Like, I'm sure a boy band put out some kind of Christmas shit. In the 2000s, whenever that big rage was going on, with
that's right.
Yeah,
they must have.
Like they probably put like "Party Down in Christmas" or "Happy Christmas" or they
have a funky Christmas.
Yeah. I'm sure they had a few, but I mean, those aren't classics. So if we can't recognize a tune within by the title or by within the first few notes, I don't consider that a classic. I mean, all the songs we listed, in all fairness, we could recognize them instantly. We don't have to sit for more than 2 seconds to say, we know this is Mariah Carey. Paul McCartney.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's part of the charm, or that's part of the popularity, is that if you could recognize it instantly, whether you hate it or you love it, if you could recognize it instantaneously, it's a Christmas classic.
I agree with that. I can agree with that. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Last thoughts on Christmas music, guys. Are you guys tired of it already? I mean, we still have another few days left.
No. We actually did a little cruise and look for lights. We had Christmas music going. It's always fun, man. It's always fun to hear. You can hear a ton of the classic stuff like that. Then again, this is where I heard some of like the John Legend shit and Taylor Swift and oh man, I was hearing so many like bands and singers like they were really popular in the 90s and now they released a Christmas song and it's like, is this where we've succumbed to. If this is this all we have left to release a Christmas single? Hopefully that's not the case for a lot of these bands or artists.
I'm not tired of them, but at the same time, I haven't really like, listened. I did listen to the Scott Weiland album, like I mentioned today, actually, because I wanted to familiarize myself a little bit more with it, so that if we, brought it up for discussion, like we kind of did. But other than like the picks that we made and then, just reminding myself and refreshing, for honorable mentions and things like that. No, I mean, I'm not too into, I don't, cruise around listening to Christmas music, and we don't really have it going on at the office or anything like that. I don't work in an environment where we have, music playing throughout the halls. This week we're, at least at our office, since the next week is the full on thing, and we'll only work half of it. We're doing the stuff, the Secret Santa stuff. So yeah, I think this week, at least at my office, we're getting a little bit into that. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm going to have to hear these songs.
Yeah, maybe you're gonna have to sit through them.
I have to sit through them during the Christmas lunch.
We heard
exchange gifts.
We heard Christmas. We took a trip down there. My family and I. We were only there for a day and back, and we listened to Christmas music on the way down, Christmas music on the way up, or the way back and forth, I should say. And I mean, it's good to have playing at this time of year. I mean, it really puts you. Christmas music is so important. It just sets the tone for everything. It puts you in the mood. The kids love it. It's just good background noise. And yes, we heard "All I Want for Christmas," more times than we wanted to, right? But it was there. We never changed it.
Of the kids, you guys being the ones to cruise with your kids, do you all show them more what you listen to, or do you have to like put it on like a kids bop Christmas station?
No, we show them what we listen to.
Yeah.
We've listened to Frosty. We could get to listen to Frosty the Snowman every time we get in our vehicle.
Awesome.
And daughter wants to hear that every single time she wants to hear Frosty the Snowman, the song.
That's cool.
I hate to disappoint you, Joseph, but my kids love "Last Christmas" by George and Michael. Turn it up.
Surprise!
I love the kids. I love you guys, kids, man. Nothing they can do to disappoint me. But that's cool. Yeah, like I'm cool. That's cool that y'all don't have to put on, because I'm sure there's like a kids bop Christmas station where there's kids singing all the Christmas songs and Christmas covers. Like
it's got to be the
probably
classics.
drive me insane.
Yeah.
It's got to be the classics, man. Got to be the classics.
Okay, guys, shifting gears a little bit. What are some of your Christmas traditions?
Well,
we throw down on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is about drinking. We open up a couple of gifts. That Christmas Eve has always been that way. Like with my family, we celebrate on Christmas Eve, and then we open Santa's gifts on Christmas morning. That's always been our tradition down here, man. But Christmas Eve's always been a party. It's always been a party. For me, yeah, like Christmas Eve, we'll, if we have, because we're off, so we'll take a little bit of nap, because I tend to stay up now that I'm older. Obviously, we're not kids anymore, so we don't, that whole thing. But as I like to stay up, and we do stay up. A lot of if my family does come over and spends the night, so that they're not, coming over so early in the morning or anything, or whatever, we'll stay up and we'll watch, some Christmas movies throughout the night, stay up well past, midnight, just actually sitting down. I like to throw on the fake fireplace, because I wish it was cold, but I don't think we're going to have that. But if it's cold, we like to throw on that fire pit warmer, and that's always nice. And I stay up and just, enjoy the night, enjoy the time, and listen to the old school, Christmas. I like to hear "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" every Christmas Eve towards the end of the night. That old school one. I just love it. Why do you like to cry? Why do you like to cry? Why do you hurt yourself? I forgot to mention, we like to every year at Christmas Eve, we barbecue too, or we have tamales, so we can have something to unwrap, that stupid joke that we've been saying for years. But definitely barbecue and food. And
so we have something to wrap.
At least Navidad, yes. Same thing. I joked about it earlier that before we were recording, that we eat tamales and we drink a lot, and then we get into fights on Christmas only to make up on New Year's, and then we get drunk again on New Year's Eve, and then we don't talk until the summer or whatever.
Easter's.
With us, we spend Christmas at my mother-in-law's. We go to a lot of the Mavericks games. The Mavericks are playing within a couple of days before Christmas. We'll go check them out. It's cool. We got tickets to watch them against the Bucks on the 23rd. And kids write their letters to Santa the night before, and leave out cookies. And it's just magic, because that someday it's going to go away, and that your kids are going to be old enough to say, hey, we know that it's not it's not true and everything. So you just got to hold on to it for as long as you can.
Speaking of crying, God damn it, how come we're ending on a sober note? A somber note.
We're gonna play "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." Scott Weiland's version at the
Yeah, that was very.
Oh hell yeah,
it's good. Though.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll put it on. But guys, Christmas is just a fun holiday to talk about, man. We got one more show before we wrap up the year, so we're looking forward to talking about that. But any last thoughts, guys? Did you have anything else to wrap up with?
No.
All right, we'll cut that out.
No, we'll cut that out. We'll stop right there.
We'll stop right here. That's our show, everyone. Listeners, we'd like to hear from you. Hit us up and let us know. What is the worst all-time Christmas song? We know it's not All I Want for Christmas.
We're going to get a shitload of hate mail, by the way. We're going to get a ton of hate mail. Lennon, Mariah Carey, fucking Wham, Paul McCartney, John Lennon jokes. Oh, shit. We're in trouble.
Most importantly, let us know what you think about the show. You may reach us at formidableopponents@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook by searching for Formidable Opponents. And we'd like to thank Creative Little Pill for our cover art this week. Always wonderful work. Please follow her on Instagram and join us next episode as we wrap up our Christmas trilogy. And we're going to talk about best SNL Christmas skit. So for Bob and Joseph, this is Randall. We'll see y'all next week.
It's Sir Paul McCartney. God damn it.